The Wise Guys TCG10. Use it as our coupon code on inkgaming.com. It gets you a discount. What's going on, guys? It's Greg Frawley from the Wise Guys, aka Pegasus, and we got the last little bit of Heroes Revenge to talk about, man. We got to talk about Battle Wasp and Vision Heroes and Harpy Conductor and Anger Knuckle and the reprints that are coming, and so many more other things. But let's touch on each one by one. I think the Battle Wasps are cool, but they're not going to be anything that's going to absolutely blow you away. One, because they're a little bit too slow and they're battle related, and anything battle related in modern Yu-Gi-Oh just isn't going to quite cut it unless it's absolutely silly. And we just haven't got there yet. And I don't think Battle Wasps change anything. I do when I go over all the cards, I do think that Halberd the Charge is a cool card. I think Hammer the Conquering Bow is a cool card, but I really feel like anything insect related, you want it to be on the level of Insectors, and Insectors has been out of the loop for so long that who knows if it's been power crept or not. I think it has been. I think the Vision Hero stuff is cool. I think it's interesting to say the least. I think Vision Hero Gravito is probably the best one out of this set. But as far as the Vision Hero stuff and being able to go into the back row like some knockoff Crystal Beasts, I mean, yeah, okay, that's cool. But is it going to be anything that's absolutely going to knock your socks off and blow you away? Nah, not really. I do think the Vision Hero Vion reprint is very key in that it's going to help people have more access to that, which is pretty important. And then you got cards like Vision Hero Increase and Minimum Ray that also add to that. Bottom line, anytime you have to depend on battle or effect damage as Minimum Ray does, is that good? Not really. I think Harpy Conductor is a really cool card. If a I have to go over the effect. If a Harpy monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one spell or trap card you control instead. Pop Hysteric Sign. That's pretty cool. But then again, Harpies isn't all that fast. So if you're investing two monsters into the Link 2 to then, by that token, pop your own Hysteric Sign, eh, the speed it just isn't going to compare to other decks. It's not going to compare to something like, Pendulum, just using that as an example. The second effect, if another face-up Harpy monster you control is returned to your hand, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it's kind of like a Mist Valley, the Mist Valley field spell. Cool, it's okay. But is it anything that's going to absolutely knock your socks off? Not really, because anytime anything gets silly with a win deck, it usually breaks the game and has to get banned anyway. So I think Konami learned their lesson. They have to check themselves a little bit. Moving on, we got Doubleheader Anger Knuckle. I think Doubleheader Anger Knuckle is a really cool card. It's going to make the train archetype definitely impacted and be able to adjust a little bit on the fly. Basically, it can be used as a link material, which makes it a lot like Rusty Bardish. But during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can send one monster from your hand or field to the grave, then target one level 10 machine monster in your graveyard and special summon in defense, but its effects are negated. And then, of course, it has the effect of if this card is in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon this card. So being able to constantly have a steady presence in trains is going to improve trains a little bit. But again, I don't think it's going to be all that great. Getting into the cards I think that are actually going to make an impact, I think we have to talk about Trap Trick Sarah. Trap Trick Sarah is bonkers to me. I think Rusty Bardish, Shade Brigadine. Sorry, I've been playing too much Orcust. But Shade Brigadine being involved in this deck, along with being able to just normal summon a Mermelio and go straight into Trap Trick Sarah. Although you don't see it that much in the OCG, I think in the TCG, shout out to Trey Faircloth for inventing Trap Queens, we have to take into account the Trap Tricks are actually going to matter. Now, if we have a new version of HAD or something like that, who knows? That remains to be seen with the awesome deck builders that we have in the TCG. We're going to win Worlds. Don't forget that. Remember I said that. We're going to win Worlds. I think moving on, we got cards like Magical Musketeer Max, which basically it takes one level 8 or lower magical musket monster. That's cool. It's a link 1, so anytime you summon something, you basically jump straight into him. We've known about him since last November, just like Lambda, but his ability is add magical musketeer spells and traps with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Cool. Special summon magical musketeer monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spell and traps your opponent controls. So whatever they have, you add the other. So you add or you special summon monsters if they have more spell and traps, and then vice versa. The inverse of that is the first effect. Really, really powerful card. This is another one that I think is really, really powerful because Magical Musketeers, it's always needed a little bit of speed, and I think this definitely helps. It's still going to have the same normal summon weakness as getting cracked in the face if your normal summon gets screwed over. You know, it's just going to hurt. That is what the deck is. I think it should mix into other decks, but that's besides the point. Of the last little bit of power cards, and when I say power cards, I mean power cards, I think High Speedroid Kite Drake is a really, really powerful card. Again, shout out to the wise guys, shout out to Trey Faircloth, because he pretty much put Speedroids on the map at first. It's a level 8 synchro, which means it's automatically going to be relevant, but it takes a wind machine tuner, and stuff coming out of Rising Rampage and Chaos Impact are going to impact this card even more. But if you have to play Speedroids, which it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt because Terratops had won, if this card is Synchro Summon, you can activate one of the effects, destroy everything on the field. Not monsters, not traps, everything. Everything, everything. The second part of the effect is negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. And then after that, if this card is in your possession and sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can add one Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of High Speedroid Kite Drake once per turn. This card is really good. Whether people want to admit it or not, Speedroid stuff is always kind of fringe, as in it's always right on the line of being good, and it's just up to the player themselves to actually invest time into playing Speedroids. Again, what I said about Windex is very true. Windex have to be, I feel like you have to be really careful because with the Harpy stuff, with the Mist Valley stuff, I've always felt like there was always something endless about certain parts of the Wind attribute. And I feel like this is no different. This card is really, really nuts, but, you know, they can respond to it. But it does have a very, 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 very powerful effect. And touching on the last little bit of this set, Battles of Legend, Heroes Revenge, Engage is cool. You know, the reprint is cool, but, you know, who knows what the future holds with that. Subterra Guru, that's going to be the best part of it to me because I felt like Guru should have been hollow in the first place, which he is in the OCG, as you can see. Then you got Lancey and Pankratops as the staples being reprinted. So basically, we have everything that we want in this set, but we still have a lot to be left to be desired in the upcoming set. So I feel like it's kind of an alley-oop set where it helps out what's coming out in the future. Again, guys, I still would buy singles, but if you really just want to try new stuff or really try out new decks like Battle Wasps and Vision Heroes, sure, you know, pick up the set. I am going to buy singles, and I'm probably just going to buy, you know, Trap Trick Sarah, Musketeer Max to help out a friend, and then stuff like Guru, Lancey, and Pankratops. Other than that, I'm not really interested in the set, but the set is still going to be pretty cool, and that's all that matters. Sometimes you don't need to blow everybody away with archetype after archetype. Once again, appreciate you guys tuning in, and as always, YG baby.